Have you been using your skincare products for a while? Or are you noticing that your routine is no longer working and your skin doesn't look as good? Well, I've noticed this too, and there's a couple of different reasons why that can happen. My name is Zach, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I post skincare related content Mondays and Fridays on my channel, so please hit subscribe if you are interested in content like that. I am somebody that likes to stick to their routine. With my YouTube career, I do try out a lot of different products because I want to find really good products and give reviews for you all on my channel. But I'll be honest, I continue to reach for a lot of the same products from the brands CeraVe, The Ordinary, and the Inky List. All very affordable and effective brands, in my opinion. However, I've decided to try a couple of new products, and I've noticed that I kind of was having a little bit of a rash kind of sensation. The tops of my cheeks will start to get a little bit red, and they'll hurt a little bit when I tap them. And that's kind of my old acne scars, inflammation kind of coming back, I guess, in a way. That's how I know a product is irritating to me, and I have been noticing that with some new skincare products. So what should you do if your routine is not working anymore, but it used to? There are a couple of different things that could happen. So if you're talking about using a chemical exfoliator like lactic acid or glycolic acid, it may be time to step up to a higher percentage. So for example, I have been using and loving the Ordinary lactic acid 5% plus hyaluronic acid, right? It's a great exfoliating, gentle serum from the Ordinary. However, I've noticed that it's not really doing a lot for my skin anymore. I'm still having the congestion even when using that product. There are a couple of things you can do. You can switch to a different ingredient that does the same thing. So like polyhydroxy acid or glycolic acid or other more powerful chemical exfoliants that you may want to try and see if those are giving you the results that you once had. Or you can higher the percentage of that lactic acid that's no longer working for you. So the Ordinary also makes a 10% lactic acid product. So you might want to try that because it might be time for you to build up. We do and we don't develop a tolerance to our skincare. It depends on the product. Another ingredient that I find that actually the skin does build a tolerance to is salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is the counterpart of lactic acid, which is an AHA, and salicylic acid is a BHA. BHA stands for beta hydroxy acid, and this ingredient goes deep down into the skin. It is oil soluble, it helps clean out oil, it helps clean out the pores, and it's great for people with oily skin or acne prone skin. However, you can develop resistance to this ingredient if you use it over time, so I usually take breaks with it. I am choosing to use it for the summer of 2021, but once October hits, I'm not going to use that anymore until the next spring because I want my skin to relax. And I noticed when I started using it again in the spring, I was getting great results. My skin looked clean, it was clear, it wasn't as oily. Like I look a little bit oily right now, that wasn't happening. It's happening again, so I'm developing that resistance aspect. So what can you do in that instance? You're gonna have to use a different type of ingredient. Some products that I like that are also oil absorbing are clay ingredients, whether it's a mask, a face wash, or a powder. Those are great ways to mop up excess oil. Mess around with the percentage. Like again, there are different grades of salicylic acid. I'm using the highest percentage that I find in stores is 2%. Sometimes I do find 3%, but those are usually marketed towards the body, and I don't want to overdo it and push it too much on my face. So I'm using 2%, highest recommended for your face, and there's nowhere up that I can go safely or that I feel comfortable doing. So for me, I've got to step back and use something else or just hold off on that ingredient altogether. Commonly, this also happens with things like retinol or tretinoin. People start out with a lower percentage of this ingredient and then they get used to it and they need to bump up to a higher percentage. That's totally okay. You can ask your doctor about that if it is a prescription form. Adapalene is now sold over the counter as different, or La Roche-Posay also has an adapalene, and that is 0.1%. So there are higher strengths. I used to use 0.3% prescribed before I went on to tretinoin, so there are different strengths of that as well. So you can ask your treating physician, hey, I've been using adapalene over the counter for a year. I feel like I can move up, and I'm sure they would agree as well, as long as you can prove to them that you've been using the adapalene and that you feel like you need to move up. That's pretty much what happened to me. I had been using adapalene 0.3% for a long time, and I kind of just realized like I'm not getting the same benefits that I used to, or I'm ready to switch to something else. I've been using this for a few years, so I asked my dermatologist. She said, yeah, no problem, go to tretinoin, like you're ready. So those are what I would do if your skincare routine is just not working anymore. I wouldn't just throw it away. I would not continue to do it either, right? Because we want improvement from our skincare routines. The last alternative solution that I will propose is to continue to use that ingredient, but in a different formulation. So if you are using let's just say lactic acid from The Ordinary, maybe try lactic acid from a different brand. You know, they're formulated differently, they have different ingredients with them. You may get different or better results, so it all just depends. I am excited to try out the Inky List 2% Salicylic Acid Face Wash instead of the Zap Zit, because I feel like maybe the difference in formulation, the difference in pH is going to make that ingredient effective for me again. So who knows? I mean, you just have to try it out. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I know how frustrating it is. We take so much time to figure out a skincare routine that works for us, that we can afford, that we can manage, and then all of a sudden it seems like it just stops working. But there are solutions to these types of problems. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.